Hey Sony, how you doing? Just hanging on to that A7000, huh? No need to release that thing. Listen, you jack-o'-lantern asshole, I will hang off your rib cage from a hook. Just release it. I hate waiting for stuff, you stupid stuff. So in the search for our perfect video camera, the A7000 is top on our list right now, and it's being delayed, and I know why.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So here's the basic reality of what we're facing here. Sony are our reptilian overlords, and they piece out technology to us village fools if we're so lucky to receive such gifts. They seem to have the best technology, even though, in my opinion, they're a little ahead of where they think they are. It's like their technology is so good, but they're not ready to harness it. They're getting better at it, but in the early series, like the A7 series, things were overheating. Like their specs were blowing people away, but like they caught on fire, and that's dangerous. Still, they released the product. That was an interesting conversation, I'm sure. Okay, boss, A6300, it's ready. 4K downsampled from 6K. It's gonna blow people away. Can we do that safely? The camera gets a little hot, but like it works. Do you think like the average shooter's gonna notice it? Well, it depends where they're from. Like our Alaska customers will be fine with it. All right, we'll go back to the drawing board. When we have a stable cooling system, we'll release the camera. It'll be great. Yeah, like we already released it. So congratulations to you. That's one thing I do respect about Canon. Like Sony, they'll put it out there, even if it doesn't quite work yet. There's some side effects. It's like medication. It's like, we can cure your diabetes. You may get lumpy leg syndrome and itchiness, and you'll fall asleep at the wheel, but diabetes gone. Whereas Canon, their caveman-like technology, while slow and encumbered, is reliable. You take that technology to the bank. It's gonna work. It's just gonna work. You know, if Canon can do 4K, it's gonna do 4K. And I do believe we'll see it soon. Full frame 4K from Canon, early 2034 at the Olympics on the moon. The Moon Olympics 2034. Get your ticket now. So as I'm looking onto the horizon of what's next, I know Panasonic, did they just release? I say I know and I'm asking. I think I just saw a video from Cinema 5D where they released a new firmware, autofocus improved once again. It looks good. If that's the case, then GH5S, masterful. Best video camera there is right now. Unless you like shooting in anything but the direct sunlight from Venus. On Venus. You need that much light. Micro Four Third loser. Unless you need to handhold your shot while you wiggle around like a gypsy. The GH5S with that mythical 10 to 25 millimeter lens that may never come out. We saw a shell of it. It could exist. That's probably the best video option on the universe. On the universe. The GH5S or G9 with that lens excites me. I get tingles and shit. But when I look at what else is there, I know I bashed that little M50 that could, the little tiny engine. It's probably the perfect camera, you stupid Canon piece of shit. You get your 11 to 22 on there, maybe get that new 32mm f1.4 lens for the B-roll, fancy background shots. You're good to go. But on the horizon, the most exciting from what the rumors are lying to us about is that Sony A7000. And finally, we're getting to the point of the video. Sony is scared shitless of Fuji, of all people, companies. people companies. Even though Sony sold Fuji the sensor in their XT3, they didn't believe in Fuji. They're like, well, there's no way they're gonna do anything with it. It's like giving a child a computer, and it's like, yeah, have fun with that, you little dumb idiot. Oh, he hacked into the government. Oh, wow, they're smarter. This generation is much smarter. So Fuji went to work, and they put together a nice little camera there. 4K 60p, 10-bit 427 output to an external hard monitor. Wow, I know what I'm talking about. It's so hard right now. This is what happened. The Sony was getting all ready to release their A7000, and then Fuji, out of nowhere, releases the XT3. Sony takes a look at it, and they're like, what? What did you do? Why did you do that? So Sony held a meeting, and they discussed that although they thought Fuji was filled with a bunch of autistic bastard children of the lost underworld, they were good at math. Our reptilian overlords, Sony, were not about to take the defeat, and they hired a mind psychic to predict the future, and they saw it, and we all see it coming. The Fuji XH2 is what they're worried about. That's going to have that flippy screen, and it's going to have IBIS. Right now, I guarantee you, the Sony A7000, whatever they call it, beats the XT3, but they're looking to the future. They see it. Uh-oh. The XH2 is going to have that IBIS as well, because we all know the A7000 is going to have really good IBIS, big body, better IBIS, and a flippy screen. We know it. We know that's going to happen. So Sony had to go back to the drawing boards. They knew they had the better IBIS and the funner flippy screen, but they didn't beat a couple of surprising things that the XT3 offered that will also be in the XH2. So they have to beat that now. They ain't about to take second place in the race. On a side note, Camera Conspiracy t-shirts are now available. Links everywhere. Let me know what you think of the design. I just did it myself. Googled some free to use commercially images. They're safe. The alien, I fixed him up a little bit. He was a little ugly. And then we got a camera. And with a little Camera Conspiracies in red, it's a Camera Conspiracies camera. And if you're curious about the lens, it's an f16 to it's a 16 to 35 millimeter f1.8 lens, and it has flippy screen on the side. It says flippy screen. There is one in that camera, I swear. I would not release a shirt without a flippy screen camera, I promise you. So if you want to support the channel and get a shirt, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much, my friend. And let me know your thoughts down below. Why is the Sony taking so long with this thing? I think it's the XH2. They're worried about it. They predict. They're in this for the long haul, and they see things the way other companies don't see it. So I am curious to see what happens with it. And we're done. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Subscribe, thumb up first, then subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.